All right, running back. Get ready for some healthy debate because here it comes. You've got Saquon Barkley at the top. Now, I believe that Saquon Barkley will be the Eagles' lead running back. Zach, you disagree.
I think Saquon is the lead running back, yes.
Okay.
And a darn good one at that.
The rest, Kenny Gainwell, Will Shipley, Tyrion Davis-Price, the former third-round pick of the San Francisco 49ers, Lou Nichols, Lovin L-E-W, and Kendall Milton, the undrafted running back from Georgia. I guess you're assuming that Shipley's the 2. That's the debate that you want to have?
Yeah, I think Shipley's going to push for the second spot, and I think he's going to get it.
Okay, why?
Well, first off, 4th-round pick, someone that the Eagles clearly targeted. I think the versatility that he has, I think the ability to catch the ball. And I like Kenny Gainwell, but Kenny Gainwell's had 3 years here to kind of show that he can be more of a threat in the passing game, and Shipley's done that. I mean, Barkley's going to get...
But don't you think that's a function of the offense and not Kenny Gainwell problem?
Maybe so, but when you were watching it, did you think he was a threat in the passing game?
I think he is a threat in the pass. I think he can catch the ball.
Okay.
I just don't think that they do that in this offense, and they keep telling us that it's coming. Now, this is going to be a different offense,
Sure.
And so if it comes, it doesn't have to necessarily be Shipley.
Yeah.
I think it could be Gainwell, and I also think they're going to be playing Saquon Barkley 80% of the snaps.
Absolutely.
Right? Now, that's part of the appeal, and part of the reason to pay him so much is that he can stay on the field on 3rd down, right?
Absolutely. And they've even said, like, this is going to be a 270 carry or touch player. Now, if Saquon goes down, I guess this is where the second running back, if Saquon goes down,
that's true.
Who gets the majority of the work, Shipley or Gainwell?
I have seen so much evidence that Nick Sirianni loves Kenny Gainwell, sometimes to like the detriment of what everybody else sees, that I find it hard to believe that Shipley would just take that job from him. But it's not crazy.
Yeah, 4th-round pick is, I mean, that's good draft capital for a running back. The Eagles. Well, Gainwell was a 5th-round pick. Pumphrey was late 4th. 4th round is fairly high. I mean, outside of Miles Sanders, that's the highest Eagles have drafted a running back in quite some time.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think that showed. Now we'll see in training camp, but I think the Eagles like Will Shipley more than the public does.
Well, there's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
That's by definition they like him more than.
Well, they like him more than the
everybody
rest of the
else
team does. No, but I'm saying,
Yeah, but
I read everything, and I listen to everything.
It's true.
And the pick that kind of has gotten questioned the most has been Will Shipley. And to me, I mean, Howie Roseman was on. See, I watched him on McAfee. I watched him on Rich Eisen, which I listened to him on Sirius XM. I think it was on Rich Eisen where he said that he gets excited. He got excited with Will Shipley when there's an underclassman who declares, who I guess like they don't have reports on yet, and he gets to write the first report.
Oh, interesting.
He said he felt like he wrote the first report on Shipley.
Well, this seems like terrible signal. Like, the reason they like him is because Howie got to write the first
No.
report.
I'm saying Howie was excited about that.
Yeah, but
Howie
that
was
seems like
excited
terrible
about that.
process. Of course he's
Yeah.
excited about the guy
The
who
one
gets to
thing I
write the
don't like
first
about
report
is,
on.
like-
He's overweighting the grade.
Well, Howie and Nick have both used this term with Shipley, just an all-American guy. And I'm like,
man, do I hate that?
listen, I'm like, sell me on his athletic ability, sell me on his versatility, sell me on like the fact that he was able to be productive
Like
multiple
drafting
ways.
Jimmy Chitwood. In round 4.
Don't sell me on the fact that he's this 4.0 student who's like
If there's
a
anyone who
tone
want to
setter
date your
program.
daughter, it would be.
Yeah. Actually,
I don't like that at all.
Actually, a shout out to Jeff McClain from the Inquirer. He had a podcast on undrafted rookies, and he had this line in there. It was about Reed Blankenship, and he's like, "If there's anyone who you would want to date your daughter, it's Reed Blankenship. Just ask Scott Schaefer because he's dating Scott Schaefer's daughter, and Scott Schaefer was the defensive coordinator at the time. I thought it was like a good device that he used there. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right that the bigger concern here is if Saquon misses time, who is it? Now, let me ask you this. Do you think they carry a 4th?
Ooh. I guess I need to see kind of the return situation and how.
They've got so many returners.
Well, that's what I'm saying is like if they're not carrying Covey for return purposes, then I think they could keep 4 running backs, right? But if they go deeper, like I don't think they're going to go deep at tight end. I mean, if they go deeper, if you're looking at the skill spots, they can go deeper at wide receiver. But it wouldn't be Covey just from a receiving perspective. It would go like Covey would need to be a returner for you. But if you're using Shipley or you're using Ainias Smith or you're using Cooper DeJean or you're using Parris Campbell as a returner, then I think you could go deeper at running back. There's not one that jumps out, but Price Davis, like you said, was a former third-round pick, and the Eagles were aggressive signing him off the 49ers practice squad to a futures deal.
I'm a little curious to see Lou Nichols, too, a guy who was very productive in college, but then ran a 4.61 in the pre-draft process, spent a year with the Packers practice squad, and we'll see how he does. All right, let's talk tight end before we get to wide receiver. Tight end, you got Dallas Goedert at the top. CJ Uzomah, probably the presumptive number 2 over Grant Calcaterra. And then you've got Albert O in the mix, McCallan Castles, the undrafted rookie from Tennessee, E.J. Jenkins, and Noah Tangiai. I guess the questions here, do they carry a fourth? And how does the pecking order with Uzomah and Calcaterra work out?
Yeah, I'm assuming right now Uzomah's the second. If Uzomah's not the second, I wouldn't carry him on the roster, right? Like I would just go with Calcaterra and Albert O. But I would imagine.
Well, I think he's there to block. I mean, you cannot.
Sure.
Albert O's not blocking. You know that. And Calcaterra is not a great blocker.
True.
And so you need a competent blocker there. So that's why he's here. I think he's the number 2, but it's sort of similar to last year where there are some packages where maybe it's Calcaterra over Uzomah.
But look, Dallas Goedert hasn't been able to stay consistently healthy. So this is definitely a spot to watch here.
Yeah, and I think that if you were to look, right guard's going to get all the attention, and right guard is the one spot where they don't have a definite starter on offense. But I think if you are worried about real injury concerns, where is a spot that could get sort of cratered, it might be tight end.
Howie, Donald Parham's just sitting out there for you to trade
Parham watch continues.
Parham watch continues.
Love that. We're on day, I believe, 49
Parham
watch. There's no way it's been that many days. It's probably been 18 days.
No way. Look, that was March 10th or something. That was even before that. It's May 6th right now. It's almost been 2 months since free agency.
Maybe it is day 49.
Time flies. Time flies when you're talking draft and talking free agency. And I suppose having fun as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Wide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, A.J. Brown and DeVante Smith at the top. Maybe you're concerned about injuries there as well. And then this is probably, aside from right guard and maybe how nickel works out, I think this is the most fun thing to watch over the course of the summer is how this race for the number 3 wide receiver shakes out. And there are really 5 competitors. Parris Campbell, DeVante Parker, hold Zach. We don't need the booze in studio. Ainias Smith, the 5th round pick, Johnny Wilson, the 6th round pick, and Britton Covey. Now you've also got Shaq Davis, Joseph Ngata, Austin Watkins, and Jacob Harris there, but I think this is really a 5-man race for what will be, probably one job. Now, maybe it's the kind of thing where it turns out that it's 2 guys and there's different types of roles. You've got Parris Campbell and Britton Covey and Ainias Smith competing to be the slot guy, and Johnny Wilson and DeVante Parker competing to be the top backup on the outside. But if you had to guess right now, who would have the plurality of your turkeys for being the number 3 receiver in terms of targets over the course of the year?
Right now, I would say Parris Campbell. I think Parris Campbell would be my front runner to be the number 3 wide receiver, the slot guy. But I think Ainias Smith's going to push him. I think they do like Ainias Smith quite a bit. Obviously, they drafted him above Johnny Wilson, right? Johnny Wilson kind of gets more of the attention because of the size, but Ainias Smith was the guy they targeted. So I'm going with Parris Campbell here, given the experience in the league. But
Parris Campbell, a little bit of guaranteed money, I think $450,000.
But Parris Campbell didn't do anything with the Giants last year, and the Giants were signing him, expecting him to do something.
Yes.
So I don't think that spot's set down. Britton Covey, when we had him on our show back at the Super Bowl, he mentioned that he wants to have more of a role in the offense this year. He's not just a punt returner. So maybe Covey can push for that slot job. I think barring injury, the slot receiver is going to get the 3rd most targets. Now, there is a situation. DeVante Smith has been really productive in the slot.
Yes.
So if they like DeVante Parker, or even let's say Johnny Wilson shows something in camp, and they are like, all right, let's put Smith in the slot, and let's get Parker on the outside for jump balls. Let's get Johnny Wilson on the outside is just this size speed disadvantage, right? Then it changes the math. But if you have Brown and Smith on the outside, then I'm looking at Parris Campbell right now as my number 3.
If you're following the money, that would make some sense. I do think you're right that Ainias Smith is pushing there. The one thing I will say is, whether it's the offense or whether it's Jalen Hurts, we're going to see if this offense changes in terms of like the target distribution and where those targets on the field are thrown. But if you're asking me to picture like the wide receiver who best fits the kinds of balls that Jalen Hurts likes to throw, I mean, it is DeVante Parker. Those like one-on-one shots on the outside where a guy might be covered and you're trusting the receiver and he puts it in a good spot. Like DeVante Parker, that's the thing that he can do. It's not separate, but it's make those contested catches. Yeah. And so it's something that'll be, I don't know, worth watching over the course of the summer.
Well said. I agree.
And then maybe it turns out to be Johnny Wilson, but yeah, I don't know. I think that's like a really fun story over the course of the summer.
Yeah, and I mean in Parker and Wilson's, I don't want to say defense, but on their side, you saw during the futures deals, the Eagles were deliberate in adding big-bodied players. So this is clearly like they felt a need to have bigger receivers as backups for A.J. Brown.
There you go.
We all silly like the mayor.